Hey guys, welcome to another video. We're going to be looking at the weekly forecast of the XY, Gbpusd and gold. So we're going to do a quick rundown of what I will be expecting this coming week. Alright, so we're gonna start with the XY. So this is a dollar index. So most importantly, we want to look at the dollar index because it actually guide us to be able to trade the other USD pairs, right? You need to understand the strength of the dollar if you are actually trading USD related pairs. So this is actually the weekly time frame of the dollar index. Looking at the weekly forecast, we're going to start on the weekly time frame. So having an overview of the weekly time frame, we know very much that dollar index has actually been strong, and now for the current market which we are having right now, we're having a bearish market. We're having a bearish market right at this particular spot, and we can see that it's actually reacting from a good demand zone after the rate of the previous weekly lows. All right, so this is where price is currently reacting from the buys after taking out these previous weekly lows which we have here. So we have price retracing back to the upside. So now the sell-side liquidity has been taken, and we had a drop up to this level around here, which price is currently sitting on, and I'm expecting buys from this level for price to come take out all these buy side liquidity we have here, then properly react now from this particular order block zone, which is a nice level. Can be able to have like 60 or 50% price managing to fill back this displacement from this level. Then I think from there we might be able to see more drop after price must have come to this level, right? Reacting from this particular point, and this demand level will be holding price as of now to pull this to this order block zone here. So we're going to look at these from the weekly time frame, just pretty much observing these levels and having them in mind. So your drawn liquidity is very, very important. That is what you want to identify if you are actually doing your analysis. That is very, very important for you to point it out. So this is a weekly high here. All right, and then we have this bullish order block zone which price is currently sitting on. So we're going to go to the daily time frame and then see what we have on the daily time frame. So from this level which we have the bearish order block zone, you can see that from here price was actually reacting from a fair value gap zone, which is still very much a nice level there, and also inside of another order block zone, right? So we can see the reaction from that particular level. From there price has not been able to pull back into the levels which it's creating. So we had pulled back up to this level, reacted more of like a consolidating market. All right, looking at it, you will see that we have more of a consolidating market on this daily time frame. All right, from this particular level. So with this, later price dropped to the downside by doing what? Doing a liquidity sweep from this level, gradually retrace back to the upside after breaking structure. So with that having in mind, after the break of structure, we now have a good bullish order block zone there, which we'll be expecting price to hold from there. All right, to rally price back to the upside. So I will be expecting these for this coming week on the dollar index. For price to lift from this level up is actually going to take long, but first we want to see this level being mitigated. All right, we want to see this level being mitigated, and you can see we have a gap here which actually occurred at the opening of price. As for last week, we know very well that the market was really crazy with what is currently going on between US and Iran, right? And then this week also is going to be full of surprises, so you want to make sure that your ears, your eyes are all alert when it comes to news. You need to be updated, make sure you do reviews, checks, and to be very certain of what you should be expecting. So it's not you just relying on the technicals, but you also have to make sure that you have the fundamentals in mind and what is actually going to be happening. So we're going to end on the 4 hour time frame on this dollar index. So having in mind that we are going to be bullish for this week, that's what I'm looking at, all right, from what I've just shown. So that is what I'm going to be looking at for the dollar index. So I'm going to use my Fibonacci for possible pullback levels before we can be able to have any other thing. So I will be expecting price to pull up to this level, all right, so that it can be able to fill this gap which we have here, all right, so you can be able to fill this gap. So I'm expecting a rally to this level, if that can be possible before we can see the continuation of the sales, then that is going to be great. All right, so that is dollar index for you, and if that should happen, then you will have to see a confirmation from within these levels, all right, which can give you your market structure shift. So have something like that, then that will be it for the dollar index. All right, that is actually the expectation for the dollar index. So we see we had a bearish market from this level with the market structure shift and the breakout structure. So we want to see a pull into these unmitigated levels before the continuation to the downside. So that is dollar index. So heading over to GBPUSD. Look at GBPUSD from the weekly time frame. GBPUSD has been bullish last week, totally bullish last week. All right, so this is GBPUSD, and we have a bullish market here. We have a bullish market here. So where is the points of interest for GU? So we can see that from this drop to the downside, and we see price rallying back to these levels. All right, so this has been taken, this high has been taken. All right, so we have this high taken, and possible next levels we have are from these other areas. So we have an unmitigated zone from this level on GBPUSD, and looking at it where price is currently buying from, so we can see that it's actually from a nice order block zone and also a breakout block zone. So we had a breakout from this level, price took out this high, all right, and then we have this order block zone which is currently sitting on. So if this can be able to hold price into the supply level before it can be able to drop. So first, our buy side liquidity is actually resting at this level. All right, so we have our buy side liquidity resting at that level, expecting price to come take that out before the drop. All right, this is actually looking at the view on the weekly time frame. This can be possible. First, taking note that we've had multiple rejections at this level. First rejection we have there, this is a second, and Now this is the third, so indicating that we have a strong resistance level right here, which two things can actually happen. If it's not being able to take out these, then we might be seeing a drop from this level this coming week. All right, because we still have zones below here which the market had not reacted from. Still have zones below down at this level. So if this is not taken out, then it will be possible to see drop on GBP/USD this coming week. But for what I'm looking right now, I'm expecting more buys for price to take out this, all right, before we can be able to have the drop on GBP/USD. So let's look at the daily time frame and see what we have on the daily time frame from the reaction. All right, okay, so we can see this high was been taken out, giving us a market structure shift. All right, this is actually a market structure shift from that particular level, and then you can see very well the buys have been happening from this other block zone we have here, and we have this level, we have this big zone of supply which price can be able to come to. Before pulling back to continue with the buys. All right, so looking at these, we see that from this level price has taken out this high, so expecting possible drop to this breakout level, can have something like this, and price gets into this supply zone here. All right, before we have a possible drop back to this unmitigated order block zone for the continuation of the buys. So this is a possible move for GBP/USD on the daily time frame. This is what we have. All right, so we have this as our order block zone. All right, and this is our selling area. So expect push to this supply level before the drop, then continuation of the buys. So two things can happen: price drops, pull to this level before coming back to this, or you can just decide to drop to this level, then it's going to give you the continuation back to the upside to take out this buy side liquidity. All right, having in mind this is actually a draw on liquidity for this high, this is a draw on liquidity. All right, so if it drops to this level, expect buys from the zone to take out this high, or it reacts from this breakout level, retest to this area, drop before continuing with the buys. So the main direction for this week I'm still expecting on GBP/USD is bullish. All right, I'm still very much bullish on GBP/USD for this coming week. This is a daily time frame, and if we look at the 4-hour time frame, that will be the last which we're going to focus on. So looking at the 4-hour time frame, where price is currently reacting from it, to see if we might not have a push to this level, or maybe just a possible drop back to this area. You need to know if it is actually reacting from a key zone of entry. All right, looking at that, it is reacting from a key zone of entry. So what you will need is, if you have confirmation from this level which gives you the opportunity to look out for selling entries, you need to break from that level. So if you can have a break from that level, then you will see a drop back to this zone. All right, so this is actually the 4-hour zone. We can have this move, then that is going to be good. That is it for GBPUSD. Have in mind that we have breaker block zones here. All right, we have breaker block zones here, which price had already respected last week after the breakout from this high. So what will always happen is when you see situations like these, when price breaks out multiple highs, and then with the impulsive move leaving from that zone, there is a high chance that the market will not pull back into the points of origin. So you possibly have to respect that breaker block zone to continue with the buying move. So most cases, don't always expect price to come back into that zone of origin. It is just going to respect the breakout level and continue, and later on, maybe the following week, it can come back to mitigate that level which price had left from the origin of price, right? So this is the expectation of GBPUSD this coming week. All right, first move before we continue with the buying. That is what we expect. So that is GBPUSD. Let's take a look at Xauusd. Make sure you hit on the subscription button, all right, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss out on any videos that we are going to be dropping. So we're going to have more videos coming up this week. I'm going to do a review of my past trades and also some educative content which you will not want to miss out. Let's look at Xauusd. That is actually my main pair. Xauusd, we're going to be having a crazy week for Xauusd. So let's look at weekly time frame. Why so? Because of the geopolitical tension which we're having, right? So we can see that there was a massive buy on Friday on Xauusd, and then news came out after they opened the Strait of Hormuz. They closed it back. Now what will be the expectations of Xauusd? Now this is actually going to be a little bit more complicated, because looking at the technicals, we know very well we want to continue with a bullish move, but now with what is happening, you will want to be expecting drop on Xauusd at the opening of the market tomorrow, possible with a gap. All right, so this is Xauusd on the weekly time frame. So we had enough sell side liquidity being taken from there. That has been done, and then price had tested into this other block zone which we have, and we can see a good rally to the upside to possible mitigate all these imbalance levels which we have here after the drop of this. And now look, we have up to 3 bullish candles after the corrections. For the daily time frame, let's come back to the weekly time frame. All right, so we have a protected high here because price failed to take out this after this resistance level. So this is actually a protected high. Are we going to see a continuation, more sales coming up? So we'll see that as we move ahead. So let's go to the daily time frame, and then from there we'll be able to have an idea of what is actually happening. So daily time frame, we had a market structure shift on daily time frame. All right, we had a market structure shift on daily time frame that giving us a bearish momentum. So looking at these, we have a strong bearish momentum from here. So when price had left from this zone, a lot of imbalance level was left behind, fair value gaps, which the market had been gradually reacting from. All right, the market has gradually been reacting from. So first we have this level which price has reacted from. That is a fair value gap zone. And then next we have this, which price is currently sitting on. So that is the daily fair value gap zone, which price is currently sitting on. And also it is a breakout level, so it is a strong key zone that is going to determine if we are going to see price continuing to the upside, or we are going to be having the market dropping back. All right, and before this rally to the upside, you need to be able to deduce where price was actually reacting from. All right, so first we had a breakout structure from this level. Okay, we have a breakout structure there, and then price left behind a nice other block zone which it's currently sitting on. Then this rally to the upside, and this is the breakout level which I'm talking about. It is actually the breakout block zone. So that is the breakout block zone. So you see, have prices inside of the fair value gap and the breakout block zone. This actually tells you two things. All right, either the market is going to just respect this level, or we see a minimal push to the 50% level from the fair value gap zone, then we have a drop. But also the buy side liquidity has been taken, which also that is going to be another call for concern. All right, so we have this high which had been taken out. All right, so liquidity has been taken. So price going to drop back or going to continue with the bullish move. So we're going to see that fully we had a break also from this level. So that is actually internal market structure shift from those level. Go to the lower time frame, you are going to see that perfectly well. So let me just put back this fair value gap zone which we have here, so we know where price is reacting from. So let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Before doing that, just to show something for the CRT traders, so you will notice that this is actually giving you a CRT formation, right? This is actually giving you a CRT formation, and you would have been expecting for price to drop, take out this low. That is another possibility. All right, you would have been expecting price to take out that low, but now the buys came in because of the news that happened on Friday. Now, will the technicals be able to hold the market, or will the market be controlled by the fundamentals? That is another problem. So 4-hour time frame, look at it. Look at the volume, the candle momentum from this daily fair value gap zone. Looking at the reaction, you're going to see that we have a lot of sell side liquidity resting at these levels. All right, so two things are going to happen, which I'm going to be expecting for this coming week. All right, a possible drop for the market to take out this low, and then continue with the buys from this level, from that other block zone. All right, that is for the 4-hour time frame. That is for the 4-hour time frame. And you can go to the line chart and see the reaction of the trend line, having an overview of what is actually happening. So you can see that we had a break, and this is actually a possible retest. So we see a break, and then this is a possible retest from here. So for me, this coming week, sales are more going to be active than the buys on Xauusd. All right, technically as well, even with the fundamentals, with what is happening, I'm expecting a drop for this coming week on Xauusd. But like I said, anything is possible. So I'm expecting a drop to what level? To this level, before continuing to fill this fair value gap zone completely before any further drop. So that is a possibility I would be expecting on Xauusd this coming week. This is actually the 4-hour time frame. All right, this is it for the 4-hour time frame. So this is my expectation on the 4-hour time frame. All right, looking at this, you will see this impulsive candle, and where price is reacting from, it is reacting from a breakout level. All right, which is that it's reacting from a breakout level, but we're going to see that clearly on the 1-hour time frame, the zone which price has created from that particular level. So these are the areas of reaction which we have price we're expecting. So I'm just all right, okay, so let's go to 1-hour time frame. We'll end on 1-hour time frame, and this is a possibility for the 4-hour time frame. All right, so the 1-hour time frame structure is going to be different. So for this 4-hour time frame, this level, it's not actually a break of structure from this high, but on the 1-hour time frame, we're going to have a break of structure from there. All right, so let's see 1-hour time frame. Okay, this is 1-hour time frame, and we have this. So first, before the buys on Friday, we had price reacting from this order block zone. All right, we have price reacting from that order block zone. Then this is the possible zone we having on the 1-hour time frame, and that is the level of reaction. So with this, it's possible for price to come to this level here. All right, points of interest, that's going to be my POI on 1-hour time frame. That's my POI zone on 1-hour time frame. And then we have a fair value gap which price is currently reacting from. Then also this is a breakout block zone here. All right, so you have this fair value gap zone, and you have this breakout block zone, and then you have your POI zone, which is your discount level. All right, if we want to also use our Fibonacci to have look at the level which price is reacting from, the 70% level, that is actually going to be a good point of entry for the buys, if that's going to be respected. So you have the view on the 4-hour time frame, and this is the view on the 1-hour time frame. All right, so that is the expectation of Xauusd. All right, so expect buys on the 1-hour time frame from this zone. So we can have buys from here back to this level, then possible, then drop into the 4-hour zone. All right, so that is the forecast for Xauusd this coming week for me. So I'm sure you love this, and make sure you share the video, drop your comments on what you think of Xauusd and the different pairs which I have just looked at and analyzed, and my view. So I will be getting in the comment section, I would like to get your opinion what you actually think is going to be happening. See you in our next video. Don't miss out. So our next video going to be coming a review from my past trades. You don't want to miss out on the approach and how I was able to get all these particular entries, which are actually massive. All right, catch you in the next video.